I remember you asking me in our first session of how I chose the footage. I was working with Danielle Myers, who was the assistant editor in that project and still is a big part of the Soul Witness project. But we had put together these little vignettes for you to look at. So that I had the film down to about 3 hours from 90. And you asked, how did I choose the footage? And I said, well, I decided on two sets of criteria. And I think that once you heard the word criteria, you tell them, well, we're off to a good start then. If there's actually a plan for how you chose the footage and it wasn't just haphazard. And for the audience, the criteria was first person. It had to be something that person saw with their own eyes, even if their parent had seen it 10 minutes ago and was retelling the story, that doesn't count. Because I didn't want anyone to question, if they were going to question one of these witnesses, they were going to have to question what they saw with their own eyes. And also, why I felt they came to the interview. What was the part of the interview? What
Right.
people agreed to be interviewed um, out of politeness, or they just want to be interviewed. In this case, that wasn't the case. These people really didn't want to be interviewed. They felt they needed to do it. Um, I think for our benefit, but also there was a main reason why they agreed to it. And when they told that part, it was either a story that had happened that they had been reliving in their head for 45 years before someone would listen to them, or it was about their family. And most often it was about their family, but you could tell their I felt their face changed pigmentation, I think, and their speech pattern changed, and the way they sat in their seat changed, and everything. You could just tell this was a this story was different than everything else that they said in the interview. And so if we're going to be, vessels for them, then I was doing my best to pick something that I thought, if they were making the choice and they only had 3 minutes, what would they want us to know in those 3 minutes?
Yep. That's right.
These were some of the most amazing things that I've ever heard said. Are there any parts of anything that you recall that just always stayed with you from the film, or from the film, from our work?
Well, absolutely. Moments that came to mind were the pitchfork into the haystack, where a mother was hiding her child from a group of soldiers that was searching a farm. And the pitchfork went into the haystack that they were hiding in and actually struck the mother's leg, but she remained silent, and the soldiers moved on and they escaped. That was like one of the most incredible, scary, powerful, brave. I mean, just any incredible word you could come up with that covered it.